What's up, everybody? This is Michael with Fit Dad's live stream today. So we've got Chris is going to be joining us in a little bit. Sorry, we're starting a little bit late, but we definitely want to get this moving for you guys. Today we have a reaction video. So what we're doing is covering today, guys, that there's a lot of fraudulence in the fitness industry right now. Right now, there's a lot of lies that are always swirling around, and I think it's become predatory. Uh, just as a whole. So what we're trying to do today is we're going to react to this video, and this is a an actual live reaction. I've never seen the video before, so it's going to be I guess, of course, a live reaction, but it's going to be a genuine first reaction. And the reason why we picked this out, Chris and I, is just simply because of the thumbnail. If you guys saw the thumbnail, I had it in my thumbnail as a representative of what we're reacting to. It just shows a side by side image of an animated gentleman that is not so fit with frumpy shoulders as always. That's always the before picture, and then the 7 days later, from day one to day seven on that particular thumbnail, it shows the same man all jacked and flexing and smiling and happy. So that right there out of the gate just got our attention, just to say that this is not realistic, no matter what. And the title of the video was, what happens to the human body on a high protein diet or something like that. So what from the title and then the thumbnail alone, it basically leads people to believe that, from day one to day seven, basically in a week on a high protein diet, you can become a chiseled god. And that's just, again, I'm being hyperbolic a little bit, but when you're talking about as a general public, when they come into YouTube to look for fitness advice and things to help them along their fitness journey, whether they're just starting or have been in it only for a couple of years looking for a little more advice, these people are seeing these titles and then seeing the thumbnails, and then they're just taking them at face value and almost taking them as if, that is in fact, what they could expect if they get on a high protein diet. In 7 days they can go from frumpy to jacked. So that's why it got our attention. Now this video may be awesome, may have a lot of information in it that ends up making actually the thumbnail itself being clickbait. And it could be a good video, and if so, we're going to learn something today. If not, if it's all a bunch of crap and they're lying to you, we're going to have fun jacking with them just the same. But that's what we wanted to do today, guys. So we're still waiting on Chris. He said he's definitely going to get on, but he's going to be a little bit late. But no reason for us to hesitate here. Let me get into the comments. Looks like Blackbeard's here joining us as always. Thank you, Blackbeard, for joining us live. And let's see. Oh, Blackbeard says, and I have an island in Nebraska to sell you, real cheap. Yeah, yeah, exactly. With these thumbnails and what it kind of tells, unfortunately, tells the uneducated folks. They're not stupid; they're just ignorant to the fitness. So what it tells them is that in 7 days on a high protein diet, they can become jacked. So Blackbeard's also got an island in Nebraska he can sell you as well. So he'll just take advantage of that ignorance. No shame. And then let's see, he says, just send me your checking account info and I'll transfer 10 million to your account. Yeah, yeah. Blackbeard's going all in. He's fishing the whole way. But yeah, but it's true though. Blackbeard's making light of it. I'm kind of making light of it, but it's a serious issue, and we want to be able to address it today. So hold on. Looks like Fit Dad is just starting to get into the stream. We'll see if he can jump in before we get started on this reaction, so he can just say hi to you guys before we get moving. Scammers exist everywhere. Sadly, it works too. Is what Blackbeard says. Absolutely, it's pitiful, but it's true. They're everywhere, and they come in all shapes, sizes, colors, and they can make you really fleece you for all you've got, time and money. When it comes to the fitness industry, I've seen it all too often. So let me see here, making sure we're getting things moving for you guys. See if we can add him to the stream. It says he's hopping in. I don't quite see him yet. Fit Dad, I think we might hear you rustling around.
On with this.
We got you, brother.
You can hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear me?
Because my camera's bullshitting, man.
Let me go back to comments here.
I got all this fixed.
We can kind of hear you. Yeah, he's disconnected. We're gonna keep moving though, guys. Black Bear says, especially in fitness, yeah, as I was talking about before, who wouldn't want a guaranteed method that is that easy? I don't know who wouldn't want a guaranteed method either. I'd love to have a guaranteed method. If somebody came along with something guaranteed that I could achieve amazing results in 7 days, quite literally, dude, I'm telling you, from a guy who's been at this for decades, I'll take it. I'll take it. And I'll just keep adding to it, but I'll take it. You know. It's not out there, guys. It's just simply not out there. And unicorns too. Blackbeard's on it today. He is on it. He's riding them. So guys, I say let's go ahead and get started in this because I definitely want to. It's about a 18.5-minute video, and so I would assume the stream is gonna, to really react to it well, I'd say it's gonna run us at least 30 to 40 minutes. So I want to make sure that we're tagging on all points, really breaking this video down. And if we learn a lot of stuff, it's going to be great. Or if there's a lot of stuff for us to debunk, just the same. So we want to make sure that we're getting into this. And at the very least, we're going to find out if this thumbnail and title are in fact clickbait, and to what degree. And to what degree is that honest clickbait where it got you to click and it actually taught you something and it kind of pertained to the the title and the thumbnail, or was it just pure and simple clickbait where it's just a total bait and switch? So let's find out. On 1 second here. Okay. Perfect. Got my little monitor here, make sure everything's coming across as I want it to. Let me share. Okay.
Staying healthy is a balance between eating the right foods and being active. However, a high-protein diet may be a good place to start.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. Messed that up. We're back. I don't know how it skipped forward.
Are you ready to instantly lose weight? Are you ready to instantly lose weight, gain muscle, and live longer? Well, no matter what anyone says, there is no miracle diet that can do these things for you. Staying healthy is a balance between eating the right foods and being active. However, a high-protein diet may be a good place to start. There are a lot of positive things that eating protein can do for your body, but too much protein can cause some nasty side effects. How much is too much, and does it matter where your protein comes from? Let's find out. Proteins are arguably the most important molecules in your body. They make up your cells, allow your body to carry out essential functions, and without protein, you die. There are over 80,000 different proteins in the human body, and each one has a function. In fact, proteins make up around 20% of your entire body, so it should come as no surprise that consuming enough protein is vital to your survival. Proteins are made up of smaller molecules called amino acids that are joined together and aligned in a unique way to create different shapes. The crazy thing is that out of the 21 amino acids used by the human body to make proteins, there are 9 that can't be synthesized by your cells. This means the only way to get them is by eating foods that have these amino acids stored in them. Which foods contain the amino acids and proteins I need to stay alive? You might be wondering. Don't worry, the infographic show's got you covered. We'll tell you exactly where to find the protein your body so desperately craves later on in the video. But let's start with the basics. When you eat something, your body tears it apart, breaks it down, and then circulates the molecules and nutrients contained within the food around your body so that your cells can get what they need. For example, you eat a slice of pork belly. The fats, proteins, and other molecules that are contained within that piece of meat don't go straight into your belly. Instead, the meat is broken down in the stomach and intestines, and the individual nutrients get circulated to every part of your body via your circulatory system. Therefore, we eat to provide our bodies with the molecules necessary to function and keep us alive. And proteins are one of the most important molecules of all. So, how much protein should you actually be eating? And what does it do to your body? Everyone's body is different, which means everyone's daily intake of protein will need to be different to provide the optimum effect. Researchers suggest that the average male should consume around 56 grams of protein per day, while females should have approximately 46 grams of protein each day. However, since everyone is a different...
Let me see, guys. I'm jagging with this real quick. Okay. Live here saying we can hear it, but can't see it. So let me get this right. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Okay. All right. All right. Now I think I've got us on. Going for it.
Different size and weight, there might be a better way to calculate how much protein you should be eating. You should be consuming around 0.365 grams of protein a day for every pound you weigh. An easier way to think of this is for every pound of body weight you should eat 3.65 grams of protein. This means if you weigh 150 pounds, you should eat around 55 grams of protein throughout the day.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google. Get Simply Unlimited, our most affordable unlimited plan, starting at just $20 a month per line.
I like that, Blackbeard. Nothing the edit button can't fix. Yeah. All right, back to business.
Protein throughout the day. However, this is just a baseline. People who are more active will need to consume more protein to maintain or build their muscle mass. But these calculations are a good baseline to start with. Surprisingly, there's still a decent amount of debate within the scientific and medical community on how much protein someone should actually consume in a 24-hour period. Some experts put that number twice as high as previously mentioned, but more research still needs to be done to justify these numbers. Regardless of what the exact amount of protein a person should consume is, there's even a more important question. What does the protein you eat physically do to your body? Since proteins play a vital role in many life functions and literally make up the cells in your body, a better question might be, what don't proteins do? There are definitely a number of noticeable effects that a high-protein diet can have on your overall health and physiology. Scientists have found that high-protein diets end up reducing your appetite. A number of studies revealed that out of all the nutrients you consume on a daily basis, protein is the one that makes you feel the fullest. The reason for this is that protein reduces the amount of a hormone called ghrelin in your body. Ghrelin is one of the molecules that tells your brain that you're hungry. Therefore, less ghrelin in your system, the less hungry you feel. Protein also boosts the level of peptide YY, which signals the body that it's full. With the reduction of ghrelin and the increase of peptide YY, the body feels nutritionally satisfied much sooner than you would with a low-protein meal. This reduces the urge to overeat, which in turn can help you lose weight and stay healthier. In a study conducted at the University of Washington School of Medicine, people who increased the number of calories they consumed from a protein source from 15% to 30% ate around 441 fewer calories per day than someone on a lower protein diet. The craziest part was that the people in the study were allowed to eat as much as they wanted. The group that increased their protein intake just felt fuller quicker, so they ate less. What this implies is that subbing out foods that are higher in fat, sugar, and carbohydrates for meat or high-protein veggies might make you feel more satisfied with fewer calories. Along with suppressing appetite, high-protein diets can help you lose weight in another way. High protein intake has been shown to increase metabolism, at least for a short period of time. Even as you eat, your body is using energy to break down the food and circulate the nutrients to your vital organs and muscles. The energy expended and the increase in metabolic rate to aid digestion is called the thermic effect of food, or TEF. The interesting thing is that protein has a much higher thermic effect than most other types of molecules like
We can hear you.
carbohydrates or fats. Studies have shown that by
If you're thinking about buying solar panels, don't. The U.S. government will literally buy them for you if you take 60 seconds to answer.
shown that by eating high-protein foods, your thermic effect increased 5% more than consuming food with little or no protein. What this means is that...
All right, guys. So before we keep moving, we want to, of course, introduce our co-host once again, Chris. I think we got you, man. Can you hear us? I don't know. I don't know if you can hear us yet. You able to hear us, Chris?
Man, this is ridiculous.
We got you, man.
My bad, dude. I did all this. Well, I spent like 4 hours clearing out this computer, put like 20 gigabytes worth of crap onto my external hard drive, and it's been working fine. I've done all kinds of streams and added chapters and done all kinds of stuff, and now all of a sudden it's doing this again. But anyway, no, I wasn't able to hear. For some reason, my microphone was going through my headset piece, but the speaker, it was coming out of like the phone speaker. The noise was.
Gotcha. Oh, no
so
worries,
anyway,
man. Well, I just want to get you in here and get you, of course, introduced. Let you say hi to the people, and we're going to go ahead and keep this moving, man.
Absolutely.
So guys, we're wanting to get into this reaction, Chris and I. Chris actually brought this to my attention. It was, I'd say, a number of weeks ago, and it's just kind of been an idea on the back burner of one of our shows. And I just finally this week said, let's pull the trigger and do it. So Chris, we can review real quick what I went over at the beginning, but wouldn't you agree that basically the fitness industry at large right now is just really kind of overrun with fraudulence, really, with false claims and whatnot, misleading claims, and not just including this video thumbnail and title, but just as a general rule, it's just the fitness industry just seems to be misleading. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. And I believe one of the biggest reasons for that is people want to be seen and want to be heard, so they're, as Coach Greg puts it, they're more spews for more views kind of thing, so they're setting people up for unrealistic expectations, where, it's somebody with, 1 out of 1,000 genetics, and they look amazing, and they're telling people you can look just like me if you just do my workout program, or you just subscribe to my channel and listen to me. You can look just like me in 6 months or 3 months. Or they set unrealistic time frames. They set unrealistic, like I said, expectations, saying 35 pounds of muscle in a year, and just it. I believe that's most of what it is. Just people wanting to get more views, want to get more clout,
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
I mean, as both of our channels can kind of attest to, when you speak the truth, people don't like hearing the truth. So they don't want to know, until they go through that kind of first stage, of getting into health and fitness, and then they learn the hard way that that's not how it works. Then they start to seek the truth out,
I heard a little saying, and don't quote me on it, I might mess it up, but it was something to the effect of, people don't want the truth. They want you to confirm that what they believe is true. And I thought that rang very true. right now for society as a whole. Nobody wants to hear, or it seems like many people do not want to hear the truth. They don't want it. They want someone to confirm what they believe is true. So there's a difference there. So it's just quite interesting. I thought that little quote was very interesting, and it's fitting for today's show. So I say we just get back into the video, man.
Yeah, how much of it did I miss? Looks like about half, or no, about a third of it or so.
Your body has to work harder to break down protein than other molecules. This causes you to use more energy during digestion, while simultaneously increasing your metabolism. All of these factors combined can cause your body to burn 80 to 100 more calories a day just from eating. And this might be a conservative number. One study showed that a group of people eating a high-protein diet burned on average 260 calories more per day than a group of people on a low-protein diet. This is the equivalent of the amount of energy expended from a moderate workout session. Who knew that eating could be such good exercise? And speaking of working out, protein is literally the building block for all your muscles. So does eating more protein correlate to increased muscle size? Not exactly. However, increasing the amount of protein in your diet will impact your muscles in a number of different ways. Eating more protein does not necessarily build more muscle, but it does help maintain muscle mass and promote growth. If all you did was eat protein, your muscles would not magically become bigger. However, if you engaged in a weightlifting regimen on a regular basis while also increasing protein intake, your muscles would likely get larger more quickly than if you stuck to your typical diet. Someone who's active and trying to bulk up their muscle mass should definitely increase the amount of protein they put into their bodies. There's also another important factor to consider when trying to build, or more importantly, maintain muscle mass. If for some reason you need to still maintain a high-protein diet. The rationale for this is that if you go from being highly active to less active, you'll begin to lose weight as your muscles shrink. However, a high-protein diet can slow the rate of and even prevent muscle loss if the right types of food are consumed. Perhaps the biggest selling point for high-protein diets is that not only will they help you lose weight, but they will help you keep the pounds off as well. Over the course of a year, high-protein diets seem to be much more effective at helping people maintain weight loss. Now, it's important to remember that just eating a lot of protein will not cause you to lose weight instantly. However, there may be some huge benefits if you stay active, eat the right types of protein, and keep track of your calories. For example, a study that tracked 130 people on high-protein diets over the course of a year found that they lost 53% more body fat compared to a control group of people on a regular protein diet. In a clinical trial conducted by the Department of Human Biology at Maastricht University in the Netherlands, researchers found that high-protein diets reduced weight regain by around 50%. This is huge for people who want to lose weight.
You know, my wife's like, what'd you do? After months of doing this, she's seeing all the changes that are happening. And she says, I want to do this.
Yeah,
I'm
waiting
man.
for it.
Yeah, and she's lost like 30 pounds.
If you're trying to lose belly fat,
Is that what's his face?
To lose weight and keep.
Let me unmute our mics here. I want to make sure we're not echoing. But yeah, that's all what's his face. And so it's funny is it's ironic that his ad pops up while we're talking about just this very topic, where the fitness industry is misleading people, and he is like public enemy number one on most people's lists. Chris, don't you agree, man? I mean, that was pretty funny that popped up, man. You know that guy, don't you?
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I mean, Coach Greg's done a myriad of videos on him. I mean, but what he does is he does what I was just talking about. Like, he just promotes all this unrealistic bullcrap, and then he pays to have his advertisements pushed. So he's gained like a massive following because he's gotten so many newbies to follow him, thinking that he's like being honest, being, authentic, when he's not.
Right. And he's not. He's definitely very misleading. We got Blackbeard and Titus cracking me up in the comments here, going back and forth. But I wanted to go over one comment here that Blackbeard put in. We'll get this video moving again. so we don't get too far off track. Let me see. Blackbeard said, I've always been told a rule of thumb, not being offensive or know the origin. I know as if I know the origins. I don't know what he's trying to say there, but 10 to 1 per pound of muscle wanting to gain with regards to daily protein intake. So, Blackbeard, if you ate 10 to 1 on your protein, like basically you're saying 10 grams per pound of weight that individual is, you'll kill your kidneys inside about a month. So maybe you mistyped, and it's really 1 to 1 is probably what you've heard. As far as the ratio, or 2 to 1 at most. I think 2 to 1's insanity, but 1 to 1, but not 10 to 1. Pimpin, your kidneys will die in a month if you eat 10 grams of protein per pound of weight. So, Chris, would you disagree with me there? I will make sure the hosts are on the same page.
I mean, a 200-pound person eating 2,000 grams of protein, that's
Yeah.
Not to be offensive, but that would be asinine.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm going to see. I've got my computer back up. I'm going to see if it'll let me switch back. That way I can use my microphone and everything. But yes, everything, as far as like, say you're main gaining, just trying to build muscle and maintain the same body fat percentage, I would say 1 to 1 up to even, I mean, as long as you're getting 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, that's fine. But if you've got enough carbs to fill the void, then you could get down as low as like, I think like maybe 0.7 to 1 or so, something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I think 1 to 1 is perfectly fine. It suffice for me anyway. I really love my kidneys, and in my 20s, I enjoyed overdoing the protein intake and getting big and huge and jacked, and I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed my young kidneys. But as I got into my 30s and now my 40s, I by no means do I feel like I'm an old man. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an old man now. I'm not. I'm in the prime of my life. I'm young. I'm youthful. But what I'm saying is your kidneys can only handle so much punishment for so long. You got to ease off of them, and you should not overload them with protein, no matter what meathead is telling you, oh, more protein, more protein. And, well, okay, you could do that maybe intermittently or something, but you really better pump the brakes. I'd say 1 to 1 or 0.7 to 1 in that range, just like Chris said, is absolutely fine, and you will absolutely gain muscle using that ratio. Let's.
I'm gonna give me. If you could like pull me from the stream for just a second, I'm gonna see if I can switch back. But if not, I'll pop back onto my phone.
Okay. All right, guys, let's get back into it.
Keep the weight off. As many dieters know, losing the weight is only half the battle. It's keeping the weight off that can be hard. But it seems from a number of studies that a high-protein diet and healthy lifestyle might be one of the best ways to do just that. You probably have heard that one side effect of a high-protein diet is that it can be damaging to your bones. Is there any truth to this? The myth probably originated from the idea that protein can increase the acidity level of your body slightly, which in theory could cause calcium to leach from your bones. To be fair, if your blood's acidity was high enough, it most certainly could cause the calcium on your bones to break down and weaken your skeletal system. But if your blood ever ended up at that high of a level of acidity, you'd be dead, so it really wouldn't matter. What long-term studies have shown is that both animal and plant protein can actually help people maintain bone mass as they get older. According to some research, people who maintain a high-protein diet over extended periods of time also seem to be at a lower risk of osteoporosis and bone fractures. It's important to point out that this does not mean you should immediately start consuming mass quantities of beef to increase your bone health. There are better sources of protein which will break down for you in a bit. The same thing goes for this next health benefit. It's all contingent on what type of protein you're eating. It might seem counterintuitive, but a high-protein diet can actually lower your blood pressure. The exact mechanism for this is not completely understood yet, but in one study it was found that a high-protein diet did not just lower blood pressure, but also reduced LDL cholesterol and triglycerides. This is important because these factors in high levels can be a recipe for heart attack, stroke, and kidney disease. Although a high-protein diet can have harmful effects on the kidneys, you probably don't need to worry too much as long as you're in good health. Doctors recommend that people with kidney diseases reduce the amount of protein they eat. This is because high amounts of protein can exacerbate problems in kidneys.
So as I just said there, they were addressing the kidneys. The only thing that I disagree with wholeheartedly is the fact they said that that's not too much of a concern or a threat to you, your kidneys. Well, I would completely disagree. I don't like that they kind of glossed over that. Of course they did it because in relation to heart disease or potential heart attack type stuff happening with the cholesterol or your calcium buildup or breakdowns or whatever they were talking about. Of course, when you weigh those side by side, of course, the heart attack seems a lot worse than the kidneys. But again, I think when it comes out in the wash, you're more apt to destroy your kidneys than you are to do all this other stuff they're talking about here. Because this stuff to me, I'm learning something today. I've never heard of that. And that also tells me that in my decades of in health and fitness, I've never heard of that happening with high protein diets. Means that it's probably not that prevalent. So they're playing to the peas and not the steak. The steak of the matter in this is the kidneys. You will destroy your kidneys if you overeat protein, overconsume protein. It will destroy kidneys, and you will regret destroying your kidneys. That's a very miserable disease once you have kidney disease. Chris, you back with us, man?
It appears so. It appears I've gotten it worked out finally.
Excellent.
I apologize for my technical difficulties.
We all got
need the logo like Quarter Black Garrett has. I think his show is actually called Technical Difficulties.
We're not worried about it, man. I had technical difficulties before getting on too. My life is a technical difficulty. I'm just always troubleshooting. Let's get back to this, man.
Let's do it.
I'll mute us.
That are already damaged. However, the same thing cannot be said about people with healthy kidneys. It's always important to follow the advice of doctors and medical professionals when they recommend lifestyle changes. However, no studies have connected high protein consumption to causing damage to healthy kidneys. Protein may even be able to reverse and repair the damage done to the body. Since it's the building block of your cells, muscles, and organs, eating more protein actually provides your body with the resources it needs to help repair itself. Several studies have even claimed after you suffer an injury, consuming more protein could help speed up the time it takes to recover. Some researchers even claim that if you're on a high-protein diet before you get injured, it may cause your body to heal faster than someone who is not. More analysis needs to be done, but it's possible that in the future, doctors will recommend foods high in protein after an injury.
So last year I paid nothing for electricity, and I actually made money by using a special program that paid me
for an injury, along with other already established treatments. So we know that high-protein diets have several immediate and short-term benefits for the body. But what about as you get older? Might sound crazy, but a high-protein diet in the middle stages of life can have lasting benefits even to your more mature years. It's no secret that as you age, your body becomes weaker, your muscles start to shrink, and your bones become more frail. However, studies have shown by eating more protein, these effects can be mitigated. It's also important that you maintain some form of activity as well, because if you don't use your muscles, they will begin to atrophy no matter how much protein you eat. But eating a high-protein diet during your life and into your latter years will help your body retain some of its strength and keep you in better overall health. There are definitely a lot of positives to eating a high-protein diet, but is there a downside? Unfortunately, yes. So before you go on a meat-buying spree, make sure you watch the rest of this video. As we said before, there is no miracle diet that can solve all of your weight and health problems. This is especially true of high-protein diets that require you to cut out all other macronutrients from your meals. You should steer clear of any diet that tells you to remove all carbs or fats from your life. In these types of situations, you could develop nutritional deficiencies such as low fiber, which can cause headaches and constipation. Therefore, a high-protein diet does not mean you should remove all other types of food from your life. As we said before, the type of protein you're eating matters, and there are definitely some foods that are better than others. You should not be eating all red meat or full-fat dairy foods because they can cause an increased risk of heart disease. This is because these types of foods are often full of saturated fats and high in cholesterol. So this brings up the question, what types of foods should you be eating in your high-protein diet? You obviously want to receive the benefits of consuming more protein, but don't want to put yourself at risk for high cholesterol or heart disease. Luckily, the infographic shows got you covered. The best meats to eat to get your protein fix are a mixture of birds, fish, and one other animal that you will not believe. Chicken is a relatively low-priced meat that is healthy and can provide enough protein to meet your daily requirements. Chicken contains around 31 grams of protein for every 100 grams of meat. The best thing about chicken is that about 90% of the calories in the meat come directly from protein. We discussed earlier how important this is for speeding up your metabolism and reducing daily caloric intake. However, an even healthier option for high-protein meat is fish. Yellowfin tuna contains around 30 grams of protein for 100 grams of meat. Other fish possesses slightly less protein per serving, but not by much. However, the benefit of eating fish as part of a high-protein diet is that they contain omega-3 fatty acids and vitamins such as D. Omega-3 has been shown to be extremely good for your heart and reduce plaque and blood vessels. This means that a fish is a 2-for-1 meal that provides both high amounts of protein and essential vitamins as well. Another seafood protein is shrimp. These crustaceans contain 23 grams of protein for every 100 grams of meat. They might also provide a cheaper way to get your daily protein from seafood, as shrimp tend to cost less per pound than high-end fish. The most surprising animal that can serve as a good source of protein isn't a fish, a bird, or a mammal.
All right, Chris. So let's talk for a second, man. Let's see. So what I'm, my attention is in on now is this shrimp thing. I'm sure you have some comments up to this point now too, and I definitely want to hear them. But this shrimp deal they're talking about, man, shrimp are high in cholesterol. So if you eat tons of shrimp, you are consuming a lot of cholesterol. Okay, so that doesn't help. Earlier in the video they said that high protein diet can help eradicate your LDLs or help your cholesterol levels, your overall cholesterol levels, if I'm remembering it correctly. And then now they're saying that eating these meats will raise your cholesterol, and then they're going into meats that are supposedly safe, or they were talking about red meats raising your cholesterol. Then now they're going into safe meats per se, and they land on shrimp. And I know for certain that I love shrimp. I love seafood. I'll eat it all. But I know that shrimp is very high in cholesterol. I know that because I watch my own cholesterol, so I watch what I take in, and that is one of those foods where I'm like, well, I'm going to indulge, and I really don't care as long as I don't eat it every day. But I don't know, Chris, what are you thinking up to this point now as they're going through these proteins and kind of giving this information?
Well, I didn't know about the shrimp and the cholesterol. Also, they didn't really specify. Like, there's different kinds of shrimp. So maybe some are, less harmful as far as that goes. I believe HDL, that's the bad one, right? And LDL is the good, HDL is the good cholesterol. I get them mixed up. Yeah. But regardless, they are correct that eating a high protein diet does boost your metabolism, but they're making it seem like it's going to just do all the work for you, and it's really not. It's not that dramatic of a thermogenic effect, like your body does use more energy, burn more calories, however you want to put it, to break down and basically digest protein than it does simple carbs and fats. But it's not such a dramatic difference that it's going to do all the work for you. So I don't really like that they kind of said who knew that eating was working out. It's like, no, it's not. It's not working out.
It's not.
Like definitely beneficial. It will.
Yeah.
It's kind of like taking creatine. You know, like it gives you a little bit of added boost.
Right.
But as far as that
there's
goes,
no silver bullet.
right, and that's the thing about and the infographics channel. I've always loved their content. Like I've watched them for, I mean, years and years. Like before they even had 1 million subscribers, and they were. I think they might have had maybe a couple 100,000 when I first found them, and I've seen them grow and change. And but I was really intrigued when I saw them put this video out because first the thumbnail caught me, and I was like, what the hell, dude? Come on, infographics. You know, because it's like 7 days. It's like no, nobody. I mean, I don't care how much muscle memory you have. I don't care if you were if you were like jacked, like dude, under the day 7, and then you were stranded out in the desert for 7 days, and then or say you're stranded out in the desert for 10 days, and then you barely eaten anything, you barely survive, and then you spend 7 days after that just eating and dieting, and I mean eating everything as idyllic as possible, taking 500 milligrams of tren. You got all kinds of muscle memory. I don't care what you do. You're never going to make that kind of transformation in 7 days, no matter what your muscle memory is, no matter what kind of anabolics you use, no matter what your diet is. That's just not possible. So that's why I was like, really, guys? And then as far as the high protein diet, it's like you said, you kind of went overboard on the protein when you were younger. And I feel like that with people's attention spans being what they are these days, they're used to TikTok, just swiping and the YouTube shorts. They're going to see that. And I bet a bunch of them won't even watch the video, and they'll just start eating more protein.
Right.
Just because they saw that thumbnail and that title put together.
Yeah. That's the danger of it.
But as far as the seafood, the chicken, I didn't mean to cut you off. But yeah, as far as the seafood, I prefer, when I can get them, tuna steaks. They're fresh caught tuna steaks. They're not, not tuna in a can. Brittany loves them. She's not big on seafood. She loves those things. They've got crap loads of protein, really good for you, and a great source of omega-3s as well. But shrimp, Brittany hates shrimp, and I do all the cooking. It's like, I try to cook things that are healthy that she will also eat. So we do salmon, tuna steaks, and that's basically the extent of the seafood I get to eat. Like I like flounder, I like tilapia, I like all of it basically. But
we all do. But here's the thing: is also another thing to also consider is how busy our lives are these days. So usually, at least for someone like me, I food prep, right? And so I cook ahead, and I usually cook ahead for the entire week in a sense. Now, granted, I'm sure I could cook some fish and it could stay in the refrigerator for a week. I just don't feel really good about it. So like me, when I'm cooking seafood and fish, I want to eat it same day. So I'll cook that for an actual dinner rather than like my food prep for lunches and breakfast and things like that. So that's a dinner thing, so that's a one meal done. I can't eat a whole lot of it because I can't eat a lot of it all at once. I've got other things that I eat. But I wanted to definitely, before we kept going on this video here, Titus has some excellent comments. He's got his first one here. It's getting my attention because it's so true. He's saying that high-fat foods causing heart disease is out of date. And it is. That's old news. They're going over high-fat foods in this video as if that's what's causing heart disease. So you got some of the best foods that Titus has listed here: salmon, avocado, and many other fats are imperative. Yeah, I mean, I love avocado, and I eat the hell out of them. I love salmon too.
And they've got like 3 times the potassium of a banana.
Right. I mean, and they're amazing foods. So the fats aren't the problem here. That's
It's the
outdated
type of
information.
fats.
It's the type of fats, but it's also really the full health and fitness uh,
Lazy
environment. The
lifestyle.
whole thing. It's the whole thing. You got to have it all. And Titus goes on to say sugar is the biggest issue, and it is. Sugar is a silent killer. People, man, we don't understand how sugar ravages the body and how much sugar we consume if you consume most of the quote unquote food that you would get at a store that are highly processed. We use sugar in everything, guys. Why do you think diabetes rates are going through the roof, right? That as far as you compare it to 50 years ago, the diabetes population to today, man, we are a diabetic population. We are overrun by sugars, and we're addicted to them. That's another problem about sugar. You're not addicted to fats or cholesterols and things like that. You don't consume it and then you crave it. The body actually craves sugar. You get addicted to it. It is a very legal, quote unquote, I guess you'd call it, drug. It's addictive. And then your body does not respond well when it's overloaded by it. It wreaks havoc. Yeah, Titus saying here that they're all over the board with their food recommendations on this video. I agree. Cris and I are just kind of going over these things as we stop.
I want to know their sources. Do they have their sources listed in the description? Because I would love to know them. Because it seems like
they're not showing it.
It seems like they just kind of grabbed different information from maybe 10 different sources and just used like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and just threw it all together. Now, possibly. I will say they have they have like a team that works for them. So it's like it's not the same person that does the groundwork for each piece of content they put out. They've got like an entire team. But I know there's one guy that he is a he's into health and fitness. So if they were doing a video on this topic, I would assume it was him that is behind it. And I would expect him to be more knowledgeable. Maybe I should send him a copy of that A&P book.
You could. Might help a little bit. You never know. Let's see what they got to say. Let's see what they got to say on this.
Instead, it's an insect. Crickets are an excellent source of protein. They contain around 60 grams of protein for every 100 grams of crickets consumed. Right now, crickets tend not to be the main source of protein for any diet. However, as scientists and nutritionists work to make crickets more mainstream, this is changing. The great thing about these insects is that they are plentiful, reproduce rapidly, and have minimal impacts on the environment. When they're eaten whole, crickets don't really have much of a taste other than whatever seasonings put on them. Some companies are even using crickets in their protein bars and powder. Regardless of your feelings on bugs, crickets might be the most sustainable active source of protein we have. It's not the only way to get your protein, though. If you're a vegetarian or just looking for plant options, there are plenty of high-protein plants that will allow you to meet your daily goals. You're eating most meats and can either be used as an extra source during a meal. One of the richest plant proteins is seitan. This herb food is made from the grain of wheat and contains around 25 grams of protein for every 100 grams of seitan. It also boasts the highest amount of protein per gram out of any plant-based alternatives to meat. Tofu is also high in protein as well. Tofu is actually made of coagulated soy milk that's been pressed together into a block. Although this doesn't sound super appetizing, tofu has the ability to fit into almost any dish as it has very little taste of its own and its texture can change based on how it's cooked. The best part about tofu is that it not only contains high amounts of protein, but is rich in iron and calcium as well. In 100 grams of tofu, there are around 20 grams of protein. Beans are also a great source of protein for anyone trying to stay away from meat. Most beans contain around 15 grams of protein per cup. But since beans can be cooked in a variety of ways, they can be easily added to pretty much any meal and boost your protein intake. Medical professionals recommend that most of your protein should come from plant sources. This is because they tend to be a healthier option than meat due to the fact that plants contain many nutrients and vitamins your body needs. If you only eat meat, you'll definitely have a high-protein diet, but that'll be about it. There's no substitute for a well-balanced diet, so make sure to incorporate different protein sources in your meals throughout the day. This brings us to a very important question. How much is too much protein? And what side effects can consuming too much protein have? It's always possible to have too much of a good thing in life, and protein is no different. When you consume too much protein, the risks outweigh the benefits. For example, although protein has been shown to have no long-term effects on healthy kidneys, it can still cause other problems in this part of the body. Eating too much protein can lead to kidney stones, which are incredibly painful until removed. Depending on the size of the stones, a doctor might need to use a laser to break them up into smaller pieces. There are two main ways kidney stones can then be removed. Both are painful enough that they should be given anesthesia. One method is known as cystoscopy, where the doctor inserts a cystoscope into the urethra to locate and remove the stones. You can imagine that having anything stuck up your urethra would be unpleasant. Another method of removing kidney stones is called percutaneous nephrolithotomy. This is when a doctor cuts a hole in your side and
Gun owners know that total concealment of your firearm is a tactical advantage. It gives you the power and
your side and kidney and inserts a tool called a nephroscope into it. This device then allows the doctor to look around and remove any stones they find. As mentioned before, eating too much red meat can also lead to high cholesterol and heart problems. Therefore, it's important not to restrict your high-protein diet to just one type of meat or protein source. There's still disagreement amongst medical professionals as to how much protein is too much, but there are definitely some guidelines to follow. For the average person, it's recommended you not eat more than 0.9 grams of protein for every pound you weigh. This means that a 150-pound person should not consume more than 135 grams. And this is the very upper limit. Being said, if you are someone who's extremely active or an athlete, you can probably get away with eating slightly more, as your body will use it to repair and build muscle. It's when the body becomes oversaturated with protein that problems start to arise. There are some key steps you should take before starting a high-protein diet, especially if you're going to try to consume the upper limits for your body weight. The first is to discuss the decision with your doctor. They'll likely want to run some tests just to make sure your kidneys are healthy and in working order. You'll also need to do your research. We've tried to provide you with some of the best food options to eat while on a high-protein diet, but there are many other choices. Depending on where you live and what types of foods you like, there are likely other sources of protein that might be better for you. You can also talk to a nutritionist who might be able to give you further guidance. It's important to remember that although some meats have higher amounts of protein than other foods, fish, nuts, and beans can all still be healthy supplements to any meal. Regardless of what high-protein foods you decide to eat, you should still include fruits and vegetables in your diet. They might not have as much protein as meat, but they are rich in vitamins and minerals your body needs. You should also identify exactly why you are starting your high-protein diet. If your goal is to lose weight, you don't need to consume as much protein as someone who's working to bulk up and gain muscle. Or maybe you're just planning for the future and want to have a healthier body in the long run. There are many benefits to eating a high-protein diet, but there can also be risks. This is why it never hurts to discuss your dietary plan with medical professionals. Now watch what happens to your body when you don't eat, or check out what happens to your body if you never move. Are you ready to instantly lose weight, gain muscle, and live longer? Well, no matter what anyone, there is no miracle diet that can do these things for you. Staying healthy is a balance between eating the right foods and being...
All right, Chris. So there's your video. There's our video, I should say.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, what are your thoughts, man? That last couple of minutes was heavy, dude.
The last bit, man, I was like, what? That and then it showed a picture of Tammy at the end. That was pretty interesting. Or I guess that's the thumbnail for another one of their videos. You know, from my 600-pound life. But yeah, no, Laura, the reason I'm not in chat a lot is because for some reason when I'm a guest, StreamYard makes me open a second window and go to the video or go to the stream through YouTube and chat that way. But no, she's not skinny. She's like, she's petite. So, I mean, she's not like unhealthy skinny, you know.
Right.
That makes sense.
Well, yeah, it does. That makes sense. I was going to say, you know, the term skinny is relative. The term fat is also relative. It's about health. So anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, that last few minutes was a trip, dude. They got into kidney stones. Well, then what caught me was whenever they talked about what the healthy amount of protein intake per day was, and it landed right in the middle of our range at 0.9 grams per pound, which I thought was interesting. So, and then but they did go on to say that that is a maximum of what they said 135 grams. They said regardless. I thought is what I heard. I'm thinking 135 grams max. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be shrinking. I don't know about you, Chris, but I
Well,
can't just do
they said
135.
they said for a 150-pound person, they should eat 135 grams of protein.
Oh, okay. So they did the math.
So
I didn't
they
hear
were
it.
using that. Yeah, they were
Okay.
using that ratio or percentage or whatever. So if they could have made it more simple, and said something like a 200-pound person should eat 180. The math would have been easier that way, but they didn't. But see, it really varies as far as the amount of protein. They kind of mentioned it, if you're trying to quote unquote bulk up, or if you're trying to technically in my opinion, I would say if you're trying to bulk up, you should eat less protein, not like less, but maybe 0.8, 0.9 grams per pound of body weight, and then focus on your carbohydrates and your healthy fats. See, when I was trying to gain weight, like when I was super skinny and I was first starting out, I would eat one avocado every day, like straight up. I would just sprinkle a little salt on it. Delicious. I love avocados. Now I'll make homemade guacamole with completely fresh ingredients. Every ingredient in there is fresh. And I can't have it in the fridge for 2 days before it's gone. Brittany will eat the whole dadgum thing. I get those what are they called? Those chips that are they're super low calorie, but they're almost like they're popcorners or something like that. But anyway, they're like where a regular tortilla chip, one serving is like 200 calories, 180 calories. These are like 70 calories per serving.
Gotcha.
And they're really good. I really like them, and they go great with guacamole. But man, I even turned down the quality and look at how crispy that picture is. That's great.
I was waiting for it. I knew he was gonna say, "Hey man, I look sharp.
Oh, that's that new Final Boss shirt, man. Ron Ankrum was having that sale.
Oh,
nice.
Nice.
Fresh. I love it.
So, Chris, let me ask you. Now that we're at the end of this video, or at the end of the stream, and then into the video, so how did you feel about the video content as compared to what their thumbnail and title actually brought to the table? So, was the thumbnail and title misleading or clickbait? So, what do you feel?
It was definitely a clickbait. I mean, most YouTubers these days are doing some sort of clickbaity titles. Like, do you watch How to Beast, David?
I don't.
Well, he gets criticized a lot for doing clickbaity type. I mean, he's not doing like full on clickbait, but it's walking that fine line, and a lot of people would get mad at him. But the deal is, the fact of the matter is, he gets views. Like he's got well over 1 million subscribers, and he gets views, and he gets watch time. Like once people, the thing is, like I know you watch Nick Nimmin, don't you? And it's to get people to click. So a lot of YouTubers are doing that, but to do it in such a like that was just blatantly clickbaity.
It was bold.
Yeah, it was like to do it that dramatically seems a bit much for my taste, and I'm sure it does for a lot of other people. But it does bring in clicks.
Absolutely, it does. But it's disingenuous though. It really can turn me away. I'm gonna go over here to a comment from Laura, which I totally agree with. The thing is I almost cannot give any credence to a video that suggests that soy is an excellent source of protein, and crickets as well. So whenever you have a whole video that explains how other foods that are generally healthy and tasty, they will tell you how they're bad for you, and then point you in the direction of soy and crickets and a mostly vegetarian diet. So as soon as they started taking me down that route, I started checking out, and not because not because I'm that person that simply won't listen to, something else and challenge myself. I just know enough that men, especially with soy, is a huge no-no. Titus said that in the comments as well, which made me laugh. And we're not eating crickets. We're not there yet. Gas prices keep going up and grocery stores keep going up. We might be eating crickets, but we're not there yet. But ultimately, our bodies are built to be omnivores, and we have to have animal proteins to operate really well. And as an example to that, and I say this in general again, because you can always pick out little one-offs and more exceptions to the rule. But as an example, if you look at the whole generally a vegan or a vegetarian, and then you place them next to, well, I'm just gonna say me. I'm not a specimen, but you put them next to me. And if you've seen any of my videos, you kind of know what kind of shape I'm in. And we stand side by side. Really? They're the ones I'm supposed to model myself after, because they're really frail and they're sickly. They're sad little people, because animal protein's fantastic, y'all. Go throw a steak on the grill and enjoy it. Okay? Stop eating the soybeans and crickets. I think they lost me on that anyway. I went on a tangent, but they lost me on that.
I will say, now there's a difference in vegetarians and vegans.
There is.
But I do know, I mean, most, like you said, especially vegans, they look underfed, they look sickly. Yes. I do know of one at least, and I'm pretty sure I've got him to subscribe to your channel. I don't know if I've sent you to his YouTube channel name is Pete on Purpose. He lives in the UK.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's actually, he's not massive. He's let's see. He kind of had a skinny fat figure. I think he's around 5'10".
Okay.
And he had like that skinny fat thing going. But he's actually gotten, I think he's at 175 or so. Last time he did a weigh-in or something, or a video covering his progress. But I mean,
he's a vegetarian, you said?
I believe he's vegetarian. I don't think he's full-on vegan, but I do think he's vegetarian.
I think you could pass on vegetarian, because aren't vegetarians allowed to eat like eggs? I
think it's like they can have cheese,
right?
They just won't eat straight up meats,
right? So I think they can have eggs, is what I'm thinking. So if that's the case,
because
you could pass on that.
But the vegans, they won't touch anything that is made from animal product at all.
Period.
Like, no matter what it is.
Right.
Like it doesn't even matter if it's like something that
like cheese,
harm the animal or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense.
There are outliers, is what I was getting.
There are outliers. And I don't want to conflate the two. I don't want to. I'm a little ignorant, and when it comes to the whole vegetarian, vegan, that whole lifestyle. So I don't want to misrepresent somebody, but I do believe that ultimately what I'm saying is we're made to eat animal proteins as well. So at the very least, if vegetarians can eat, your cheeses and your eggs, I consider that passable. I could do that. It would take a lot of discipline, and you could actually build a lot of great muscle and keep a lot of great muscle with eggs. I eat tons of them because I have chickens. Those who know me know I've got chickens out here. I eat my eggs right out the coop here. And so me and my family, we enjoy them. So I could do that. And I eat a lot of eggs. So yeah, maybe so. Maybe on the vegetarian side, but I'm not touching soy. And Chris, I'm sorry, I'm not down to eating crickets yet. I do live in the woods, but
if I were in a survival type situation, that would be about the only time you're going to find me eating a cricket, and it would be
100%.
begrudgingly, because I despise insects, all of them. I don't like spiders, but I do appreciate them for eating insects.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I despise insects. They're sticky little freaking legs, and flies buzzing in your face. That just all of them. The wasps, the damn Feels
so check
like
it out, man.
To eliminate real. Well, yeah, I mean, look, you saw Bill Gates promoting that soy, and then Rogan went off on him. He's like, "Oh, you're over here looking like you got a spare tire stuffed under your shirt, telling people to eat healthy and shit. Like, who the hell are you to tell us what to eat, dude?"
Well, and it's so true what Laura says. Clearly, right now there is a push to eliminate strong men out of society.
Oh yeah. It's like it's not
Absolutely.
even just a feeling. That is definitely happening. They are trying to feminize the entire next 2 generations. They are trying to get rid of the nuclear family. They are trying to make, and I believe when they started mentioning that soy shit and those crickets, the first thing I thought of was Bill Gates probably. I mean, no, I'm serious. He probably sponsored their damn channel.
Yeah.
Because it's that kind of, I mean, that's the way it works.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the way so many people are so stupid. They're like, all the politicians have our best interest at heart. It's like, tell me something. You think about this now. If you had any kind of power, if you were a governor, if you were a seat member in Congress, whatever, someone walks in, black suit, real spiffy, right? But he looks rough, right? But he walks in and he's like, "You're going to vote this way. You're going to let this pass. If you do, we'll give you $100,000 cash. Put it in your safe at home. If you don't, and then they tell you your address, and then they tell you your kids' names, and then they tell you." That's how politics work these days. And I can't even say that if I were in the position of power that I wouldn't take the money. Because power corrupts people. That's why we have all the checks and balances.
Right.
And now it's a little off topic of health and fitness, but it's actually not. They want us to be weak. They want us to be unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
This dude who was pushing for these, I don't know what to call it. Getting they take the needle and they put it in there,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the same dude who was preaching depopulation.
Yeah.
And he's the most beta bitch looking dude I've ever seen besides Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
So it's they want us to be weak, and they want us to be sheep. They don't want us thinking for ourselves.
Subservient. They want us, it's a weakness on all levels. It's not just physically weak. It has to be we also have to be emotionally and mentally weak. And they're breaking it all down. Now we're getting pretty deep. But that's how deep this goes, though, unfortunately. You can go on a tangent when we get into these videos. And really what we are always trying to do is promote health and fitness. And sometimes when we talk about it
comes full
it
circle.
gets heavy. It does go full circle. Yeah. it does come full circle. And so, like again, whenever Chris and I are covering these topics, you wonder sometimes, man, they could sure get off the rails and go deep. And well, it's because things are deep. You know, things are deep. We could stay just on topic and just keep it there. But I think Chris and I try to be as authentic as possible. We try to sit here and talk to y'all as if you're sitting in our living room. So you're not just getting a edited or a fake version of us, right? Just for YouTube. So that's why whenever we get to talking about this, we go into all the facets of health and fitness. And unfortunately, as we're talking about Chris and I and what Laura brought up, talking about they want to, feminize men and make us weak. It's also very true. So we really got to be watching out for that. And so when we watch videos like this that say that soy is our top, protein that we should be consuming, or cricket
studies.
It's silly. Well, right. And I haven't even checked their description. Maybe they have a link in their description. I'll go read them because it's fair. I'm not trying to be closed-minded to it, but I can tell you I know enough about soy to say I ain't touching it. They could keep the soy. There's plenty other ways for me to get my protein. I tell you what, if it's between soy and crickets, I might eat a cricket first. Because soy jacks men up.
They call them soy boys for a reason.
Yes, exactly.
But
oh no, Blackbeard says Laura, just leave. Getting Truth and I started is equally hilarious and unpleasant. Yeah, if you get us down this road, and Chris and I both will go off on this thing, man. And then Laura says,
she knows.
Don't get me started on the politics. Oh no,
she's
Laura,
she's the moderator of the Mug Club members chat group on Facebook.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Steven Crowder Mug Club.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she was the one that was fighting on my behalf when they banned me for like the 16th time.
Oh yeah, you told me, man. Laura's a soldier, man.
Yep, she's a trooper.
China.
Oh yeah, and
by making Americans weak with the fentanyl. Yeah, coming over the God.
Yeah, that.
Laura. Yeah, don't start this, Laura.
We don't want to get. But as far as the health goes, they've made it more convenient. See, you saw my Instagram post about this recently. They've made it seem, and to some extent it is, more convenient to go eat processed, unhealthy, fried foods. You can't, any town you go to, you got Burger King, you got freaking Taco Bell, McDonald's, of course, McDonald's, and even Subway. A lot of the crap on Subway's menu is not that healthy, no matter what they say. I do like about Subway, if they measure the ingredients that they're adding onto your sandwich correctly, they do list the amount of calories, which is, somewhat nice. But it's been going on for a long time. It's nothing. It's nothing new. And
no.
So and I made that post where people, I can't afford to eat healthy. I can't afford to lose weight. I can't eat. Yes, you can. Because you can go, well, now that we have this lovely price spike on everything, literally, a pound of chicken used to be $3.70 where I live. Now it's like $6-7.
Yeah.
But you can eat for the money that you're spending, especially these people who eat Uber Eats and spend all that extra money.
Right.
Take that money and go to the farmer's market and get fresh grown fruits, eggs, all kinds of stuff. And then you can go get chicken. Even the free range chicken isn't that much more expensive than the regular chicken. Chicken breast, and there's companies, there's like smaller business companies here in the U.S. that contract with local farmers and they sell in bulk the beef.
Yeah.
And process their cattle and whatever, and you can order meat in bulk for a lot cheaper than buying it at the store. beans, as I mentioned before, beans are super cheap. They're high in protein. I mean, you don't want to just live off of them, but they are, healthy. And that's just a few of the things. But I mean, for the people that it's convenience that they're opting for. It's not that they can't eat healthy. It's just more convenient to not eat healthy.
Right. Right. Yeah, Laura's going into it again and saying, well, considering Russia is our source of fertilizer, we cut that off. Planting this year is going to have a major impact on everyone. So we could be eating crickets. Yeah, Laura, that's, it's all scary. There's a lot of scary things going on as far as the supply chains and as far as food.
All the food processing plants being destroyed. What are we at? 20 something now?
It's a little scary.
Or just closing down for some bullshit reasons.
Well, Laura says, I hope you guys know how to hunt. Well, Laura, I'm good to go. I'm not going to broadcast where I am, but I've got a good little bug out location. My family and friends know. But yeah, I agree. I mean, kind of half joking, half not. I agree. You better know how to hunt. It's going to get a little rough in these upcoming years. Honestly, this is going to take a while to unwind if it does. Right. So ultimately, we might almost be forced to eat healthy, which might be good for us. We might have to go actually find the food because we cannot purchase it from the stores any longer. So
I'm just happy I live in a state where they're pro First Amendment, pro Second Amendment, and I can drive about 5 minutes from here, and I mean, they've got the best deals I've ever seen on firearms, whatever, and ammo. I mean, they got the fingerprint scanner firearm safes for $99. They've got oh yeah, okay. They've got like they're doing a special on the Taurus G2C 9mm for $200 with a $25 rebate. Yeah, just all kinds. And I'm not originally from here in Tennessee, but the governor here in Tennessee, he's not going to stand for that bullshit. And I've got plenty of places to hunt here. I grew up in Arkansas, though, way out in the backwoods. And my family has a lot of land back there, too. So if shit did hit the fan, that's where I would be going, back home.
Good to go. Well, man, I do appreciate everybody getting on this stream live with us and in the playback. We're going to go and wrap this up. We definitely got off on a tangent, but I think these conversations are good, and I think we all like to to be able to talk about them in a healthy way and not scream and yell and hate each other for our different varying opinions. We don't always have to agree with each other, but it's nice to be able to sit and just kind of talk a little shit, and shoot the shit with like-minded and as well as other minded people that maybe have a different outlook on things. But ultimately, to bring us back to square one where we started, Cris and I think we both agree that the title and the thumbnail of the video that we reacted to today, guys, was misleading, and that's dangerous. And we are always promoting things like that on our channel, promoting truth rather. What we're trying to do is let people know that the fitness industry has become very misleading and fraudulent and dangerous. So you got to really be careful with what you consume and what you believe. You have to really look for yourself and try to find channels like Cris and ours. We're not sponsored or anything. And one day, maybe I would love to have 1 million subs and be sponsored. I don't care, if I can have that. But the fact of the matter is that we're always going to try to be truthful, regardless of how big or small we stay or get to. And so, yeah, Cris and I both agree it was misleading. The thumbnail and the title had no bearing on what the video really gave, and then the video was also a little sketchy in itself. There wasn't a whole lot.
The ending really made me feel like it was trying to push people away from eating meats.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Just kind of very subtly. So you had to really listen to it and understand it and really watch it all the way through to the end. And then that's the message it really brought. So
for everyone here and watching on the replay, I mean, we try to have discussions. We won't even call them like a debate or anything. Anybody's welcome to share their differing opinions or perspectives in the chats. I mean, we're on Michael's channel now, but if you're on my channel, it's how it goes. Just behave as an adult, you know, have a discussion. Our country was founded on debate, the ability for two people of opposing opinions to have a discussion without tossing insults, without acting like a 3-year-old. It's really not that hard, and to see what how it's become as of late. It makes my stomach turn.
It's disheartening. But,
so if we got off topic a little bit, but maybe, I mean, now you get to know us a little better. So, you know, if you agree, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. You know, you don't have to stay here. You don't have to like us. We're not demanding any of that. We're just here to share what we've learned, share what we've seen, share our perspectives, our experiences, and maybe make a few friends along the way. Who knows? But I appreciate you having me on the channel again, Mike.
Absolutely, man. And I'm just going to end it there because I couldn't have said it better. So, guys, you've just witnessed another Fit Dads live stream. Looking forward to another one in 2 weeks. It's going to be on Chris's channel. Look for his channel link in the description. I already have it in the description. Make sure you click on that. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. Click that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos or streams. And guys, until next time, y'all have a good weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace out.